Director of Agriculture, and other officials for over 122 years, represents a remarkable piece of our cultural heritage. Today, I am pleased to share with you that Masterworks Museum, known for its status as a center of cultural arts and for its Museum of Art, approached the Ministry of Public Works with a proposal to lease and renovate this historic government asset at no cost to the taxpayer. This initiative, which will see the building become a second location for Masterworks in the form of its new art and design center, stems from a shared commitment to preserving our cultural legacy and fostering art and culture. I want to express sincere gratitude to the board of Masterworks Bermuda and its executive director, Ms. Risa Hunter, for their initiative in revitalizing this building. Their dedication to the arts and cultural enrichment is truly commendable, and we acknowledge their efforts in raising the funds needed to undertake the comprehensive renovation of this building. Importantly, this endeavor comes at no cost to the public, as I stated, showcasing a beneficial partnership between the public and private sectors. The lack of funding is always the impediment to government carrying out these works itself. The decision to grant this lease is rooted in a vision that will see this historic building return to active use for the public's benefit. It signifies not only the preservation of our cultural heritage, but also the further elevation of the Botanical Gardens as a hub for art and culture, aligned with the government's commitment to community development. The benefits that Masterworks brings to our community are exemplified by the successful transformation of the former arrowroot factory building. This showcases their dedication to repurposing historical spaces to enrich our vibrant cultural heritage. Recognizing the surplus status of this building, we believe that once renovated, it will play a crucial role in supporting the Foundation's art projects for the island, aligning seamlessly with the wider remit to expand opportunities for budding artists. This strategic decision is part of a broader plans. The building being considered surplus aligns with our vision for a new state-of-the-art parks headquarters development at Marsh Folly. Those plans should be submitted to planning shortly. Additionally, renovations to the Botanical Gardens Visitor Center are planned, catering to library space, other Parks Department needs, and public spaces. This public-private partnership, guided by the principles of the National Parks Act 1986, is a shining example of repurposing unused government buildings to support art education and development, fostering a more vibrant and connected community. Thank you to the board, management, staff, and donors of the Masterworks Museum of Bermuda Art. We look forward to witnessing the positive transformation of this historic site under your capable stewardship. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. I would firstly like to welcome the Minister of Public Works, Lieutenant Colonel, the Honorable David Birch, Dr. Dismont Richardson, representatives from our Bermuda Board of Trustees. I know U.S. Consul General Karen Grisette has just shown up, as well as Honorary Chair of our Masterworks American Board, and of course the Masterworks staff and the press. Thank you for being here. I'm delighted to be standing here today to announce our plans to restore this iconic historic building, the former Parks Department headquarters in the Botanical Gardens, and to transform it into an art and design center. The development of the museum's second location will be a transformational project that will create a dedicated space for arts education and practice for Bermuda's community. While honoring what is most cherished about Masterworks Museum, the development will drive innovation to elevate art and design educational programs, enhance key features of our Masterworks historic sites, and offer working spaces for amateur and professional artists. These bold initiatives, which build on the museum's legacy and commitment to its mission, will allow Masterworks to increase its reach within the community and expand its impact. 2 historic buildings, 2 creative hubs, bookending the botanical gardens. And it is important to note that architectural heritage is also an art form worth preserving. Originally built to house the Director of Agriculture in 1898, this cultural landmark is steeped in local history and central to our agricultural history and that of botanical gardens. We believe that the renovation of this historical treasure for educational purposes will bring back to life the original entrance to the botanical gardens, and I'm delighted at the opportunity to partner with Minister Birch and our government to enhance our public spaces together. The renovated building will integrate modern facilities to create artist studios, fine arts classrooms, an arts technology space and media room, and an inspiring space for artistic expression, all while honoring its legacy and Grade 3 listing. This ambitious project will require $4.5 million to fund the renovation of the historic building, with the plan that the new Art and Design Center become financially self-sustaining. We are pleased to share that currently we have raised $1 million towards that goal. We anticipate launching the public phase of our fundraising campaign in 2025. I would like to say a very special thank you to our committed board of trustees and the Masterworks staff who have been working diligently behind the scenes to bring the concept and development of this project to life. In particular, Tom Butterfield, who's here today, our Masterworks founder, who has been the linchpin for this vision. Tom wanted me to share today that this opportunity presents the chance to make further inroads of community togetherness and creativity. He has shared, we are eternally grateful for the opportunity to save an architectural gem and at the same time create a community center for education, art, and culture. Time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. And a special thank you to our board members most closely involved with this project: Gabriella Brunner, Wayne Keynes, Mandy Cawthorne-Argenio, Kevin Dallas, Roddy Gray, and Amanda Swan, as well as our education officer, Kimberly Fisher. I also want to thank the many artists, teachers, and students who have contributed to our research to date, especially our Artist Advisory Committee, Nuri Bashir, Louisa Birmingham, Graham Foster, and Shanna Hollis. And a very special thank you to our architect, design, and engineer team, Laura Proctor, Gabriella Brunner, Mark Betchar, and Ricardo Graham Ward. In particular, I'm honored to have had the support of Georgia and David Benavides, who continued the legacy of involvement from our existing building. Georgia, thank you for carrying this project forward with passionate support. I lastly would like to thank Minister Lieutenant Colonel Birch for his unwavering commitment to this project. Minister Birch not only offered a listening ear as he heard our proposal, but more importantly, he shares in our excitement to rehabilitate a historic space for the betterment of the community. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you so much. We enter this new era for the museum with the conviction that creating and studying art can transform people's lives. The Art and Design Center is poised to become a dynamic hub for creativity, collaboration, and artistic exchange. And I invite the community, cultural stakeholders, and arts enthusiasts to join in celebrating this reimagining of artistic offerings in Bermuda. Thank you.
Thank you to our speakers. At this time, we invite any questions from the media.
Thank you. Colonel Birch, I'm just curious, this lease, how long is the lease for?
It'll be for 21 years less a day. And the reason for that is that's the authority that the Minister of Public Works has in order to be able to issue leases without having to go to the legislature. But they'll also have an option to renew.
I do have questions, but it's more unrelated to road work, so I will let you go ahead.
Okay, no worries. Minister Birch, I just wanted to ask, do you see partnerships with private organizations as the way forward to helping to preserve government derelict buildings?
Well, what I would say is a continuation of partnerships with the private sector. We've done a number of these over the last 5 or 6 years ago, not only with organizations like Masterworks, but with private individuals who've seen properties who want to rehabilitate them. And so we are quite willing to engage in that conversation with anybody in this community that wants to be able to do that. It helps us to produce an asset that no longer will be deteriorated.
And a question for Masterworks, if I may, Lisa. When do you anticipate works will begin, and do you have a completion date in mind?
Yes, we would love to open. We would love to open the site in 2026. That is our goal. I think anybody who's been involved in development projects knows that, you know, we work as quickly as we can, but that there are always variables that come up. But our goal is 2026. As I shared before, we've raised $1 million. So we would like to raise a bit more money before breaking ground, but we feel pretty confident that that can happen by the end of the year. Yeah.
I do have one more question. You said you want to raise a bit more money.
Mhm.
Could you allude to how much more in order to break ground?
At this time, we don't have the exact figure. I mean, 4.5 is what we're estimating for the total project. We have 1 million to date. I mean, in my, you know, just where I'm standing now, I feel like it would be another 1.5. But again, you know, these are all things that we're working with the architect and design team to determine what those phases will look like and what funding we need at which phase.
I'm just curious because you mentioned a lot of plethora of things that are going to happen within this building. In terms of the fine arts and everything, is that something you're going to collaborate with schools with, like just like the public partnerships as well? I'm just curious, has that been something on your radar?
Yes, definitely. I mean, so what we're doing is we're looking to strengthen and expand our existing programming, of course, but then the opportunity to have more space also allows us to work more closely with the public and private schools. And, you know, it would be our goal to have, as part of their curriculum, to actually come here and engage in some sort of education program. But, you know, we're in the early phases. We've started conversations with many arts educators and leaders within the various school systems. So we're still mapping out what that programming looks like, but that is the goal. Yeah.
One last question.
Sure.
So going back to, you know, the money aspect in terms of raising the money publicly, is there some avenue in terms of how you're going to look to raise that? Just curious, like publicly raising it. Like, are you going to host events with Masterworks? Like, can you kind of just flesh that out?
Yeah.
In terms of the funding?
I mean, Masterworks has always had an incredible donor base. There are people in the community that care deeply about the work that the museum has done and what Tom created back in 1987. So I think that heart and soul and that love for the museum and what we're doing is out there. So our goal would be to work closely and partner with individuals in the community who care to invest in this project. The public phase of this campaign, where we will invite, you know, more members from the community to participate, will probably take place by the end of 2026. If not earlier. So, you know, we really would like to work closely with strategically with individual partners till we get to that point. But yes, you know, with any fundraising project, you're always looking to host events and engage people with the space. So we have a lot of ideas brewing. So more to come. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Probably no further questions.
For Colonel Birch, on this fine morning, in terms of roadworks, I know that potholes continue to be an issue around the island. Can you give an update on the teams that are out within, you know, the whole island? I know I'm just curious since I caught you here. Is there any update as it relates to roadworks?
Well, I shall be making a formal statement today on the state of roads in the country. But for this opportunity, I will say that we have had rain in this country over the last 13 months of biblical proportions. And that has had a significant detrimental effect on our roads. And so we have a significant number of roads, of potholes, as a result of last Thursday's rain, which has made it worse. And so we are constantly looking at ways in which we can address this problem, not only of potholes, but the repaving of roads in the country. People will know that our plant has been down all year. We are in the process of purchasing a new plant. That's a long-term plan. Unfortunately, the only other supplier of asphalt in the country is Eastern Asphalt, and their plant is done as well. It's about the same age as ours, so we're having the same sort of challenges. We are taking other steps to come up with a solution that will precede the new plant arrival and installation. But more on that later today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Mrs. Hunter, for your presentations, and that concludes today's press conference.
Thank you.
Good.